Okay, so everybody click on your okay up there. Okay. Today we're going to work through a couple very simple mixed media visual journaling layering techniques to introduce you all to my process. So make sure you have your book and supplies set up. Okay, here's the link. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, I'm going to put this in the chat. Okay, so if you didn't get your supply list, it's just at the registration page. So I put that in the chat right now. So if you guys need to look at it. Okay. And after our assignment, after we do all this work, we're going to spend some time talking about this work, and I'll pick a few pages from people. I'm sorry I can't get to everyone, but it'll be helpful just to talk about some of them, and you'll get some better ideas about what it is we're doing here. So today we're going to take a deep dive into pirate journaling. I'm hoping you will be inspired to join us in Ireland at Essence of Mulroney Arts. So if you are interested, stay to the end, and I have a link for a discount to that class. Otherwise, we're just going to have fun. And again, this is not my studio, it's my office, but it's where I have the internet hookup. If you were joining me in a live workshop, say in Ireland, I would begin by going around the table and asking everyone to say your first name. Share the book you are thinking of working in so we can discuss book forms, and then we would answer the question. We don't have time to meet everyone here today, but if you'd like, please put your first name or Pirate Queen alias, where you are from, and maybe what kind of work you are working in. Book you are working in. Well, maybe it's an altered book, a blank journal or sketchbook, handmade book, maybe what size the book is, what kind of paper, etc. in the chat. So, oh, Sheila, that was so nice. Thank you. Oh my God. I don't know who can see who or what, uh, but an old dear friend, Sheila Montoya, just put on her pirate eye patch. I appreciate that very much. That's very cute. Okay, okay, so you're going to be putting in about your book, and I begin every workshop with a question. Whether it is 2 hours at my studio or 7 days in Ireland, we begin with a question. Answering the question creates immediate intimacy and introduces us to each other, not just by our names and where we come from, but the real vulnerable us. The answers reveal our true being, and we come to know each other on a deeper level. This creates allies, sisters in arms. Questions. Who is this over here? Jenny the Brave. I love it. Okay. Altered Ledger. Cool. Salem. Mermaid book. Okay. Sorry, let me get back to this. The answers reveal our true being, and we come to know each other on a deeper level. We said that. Questions set the stage and orient our hearts to the journey ahead. Even if you never leave home, visual journaling is a journey. An inner journey is as potent as an outer. But when we combine the two, such as traveling to Ireland for an in-depth retreat, sisters, that's life-changing. Not without its challenges, dragons, and threshold guardians, but that is how we grow. Our question is, what happened to your fire? What happened to your fire? If it feels safe, you can drop your answer into the chat. So again, write your name, what kind of book you are working in, and your answer to what happened to your fire. I think my favorite thing about my retreats and working in a group is the sisterhood and connections that are created. Um, Most of my retreats have developed into lifelong friendships, really, really special relationships. So I'll start while you guys are adding things in there. Um, I'm Captain Morgan Le Fay, half sister to King Arthur of the realm. Schooled by Merlin, I am immortal, sea witch, and pirate. So my book that I'm going to be working in today, um, uh-oh, boop, 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 is I'm starting a fresh book. This is a book about Queen Elizabeth, and I really didn't have any more pages. I just recently finished a lot of journals, and so I'm starting fresh today. So that's going to be my book that I'm working in. It's an altered book. And my answer to the question, what happened to my fire, is I think I was afraid of it. And so I tried to put it out. I have been a dead woman walking since 2009. Coincidentally, when I started menopause and lost 5 family members and 4 friends at once. And I have to say, like, I really only recently feel somewhat of a spark returning. I feel ready to begin the next chapter of my life as an elder and discover who the real me is and who she is becoming. I expect to meet her fully enlivened in Ireland. And I hope you'll join me on this journey to discover what we are made of. I just want to just say this. I know you guys are here just to do this assignment, but this retreat in Ireland is so important to me. And I can't go there without my brethren. So that's kind of why I'm doing this, because I'm asking everybody, if you know anybody who wants to sign up, I need your help to get me there. So I want to ask somebody, I'm gonna put somebody on the spot here. Sheila Montoya, who I've known for a very long time. Sheila,
Oh
would you
no.
would you say your name? Did she just close out?
No, I'm
Sheila,
here.
would you say your name and hold your book up that you're going to be working in and answer the question?
Oh my God.
Let's see if,
Well,
if Shri
I'm new to
can
this.
Shri spotlight you.
I do have a pirate hat in the closet. Um, I kind of just pulled this book out because
Yeah, wow. I love the title.
I know it's Brene Brown and it's a cool book. It has pictures and stuff, but I never use it. So it has stuff like this in it though.
Might have to lift it up a little. Yeah, wow.
Pictures. So we'll see. It's like I have to think of the fact that I'm not ruining it, but
Yeah.
I'm making it better. I don't know that I have a pirate name. My nickname is Sheila Beans.
That's pretty good,
I could be Captain
right?
Sheila Beans. I don't know. That's kind of all I got at the moment.
And what's the answer to the question? What happened
Oh.
to your fire?
Hmm. I mean, my first thought is like, well, nothing, but actually, I feel like a few years ago, I worked through some difficult stuff and that my fire is back since
Nice.
then.
Nice.
It's kind of a quiet fire now, and I like that.
Yeah, like a consistent warmth.
Yeah, and I can be happy with myself.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
kind of
fun.
the beauty of eldership.
I'm really old now, Julia.
You're what?
Really old now. I turned 71 in December.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, Sheila. Okay, let's see. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna ask Susan Crew. And thank you for being brave and going first, Sheila. Yeah, and somebody just posted about altered books enhancing, not ruining. Yeah. Okay, Susan, what's your name? Show your book And
Okay, I don't have my pirate name yet, but I trust it'll appear before I leave Ireland.
well, I
I mean,
love that oh yeah, Susan's coming with us to Ireland. I love that your last name is Crew because there's something very brethren
ah,
about that. Like you're your own crew of one. Like you got it. You got it all.
so I have an altered book, and I haven't looked at this book for years, and I got it out from my studio. It's pretty
Yeah,
big.
it looks pretty big. Is that a blank journal or a
Oh
altered
no,
book?
it's a book, and
Wow.
I altered it in one of your workshops a long time ago, Juliana. And when I opened it, I see. Let's see if I can get this to show up. This was from December 2016, and you had us dedicate the book entitled. Well, this is backwards. So anyway,
No,
this is the.
we see it the right way.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, we see it the right way.
I feel how excited I'm getting. These are the kind of pictures of various animals. This whole book was a
Oh, they were
photography of
already in
animals.
there.
Yeah, but I covered up. See, when I looked at this, I thought, I can't even recognize, was I the person that did this? It's like,
Yes. Yeah, hold that
so
up.
that's how covered
Wow.
up the pages can get. And but I still have some blank pages left. So I brought it here today to fill up another page.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So Susan brought up something that I do want to say. It's like when we do this work, and you'll see this today, we're so in it. We're so deep in it. Like later, like a month later, you'll look at your book and be like, who was working on my book?
Right.
I didn't do that. That's not my work. That's not me. And so it's really like it's really hard to believe sometimes that like you did that and you're sort of amazed by what you were saying and thinking and working on because it's oftentimes really different than the way we normally work. Okay, so Susan, thank you so much for going. We're gonna move on, but you guys get that about oh wait, Susan, you didn't tell us what happened to your fire. Where'd she go? There. You gotta unmute. Is it working? No. Can you see it down in the bottom of your screen or something?
Can you see an ask to unmute or unmute? You have your little recording thing. You see it
Okay,
right. There you are.
there it is.
Yay! Okay, so answer to the question.
My fire was so far underground that I didn't even recognize that I was a fire sign until I went to a workshop last summer and people were saying, "You're a fire sign." And I said, "I'm the most watery person I know." "No, you're a fire sign." So my fire went deep down inside, and it, as a result of being hidden and repressed, turned into rage and seemed to be a force in my unconscious that was trying to annihilate me and everything I loved.
Wow.
So now I'm doing this work that trying to reclaim it. Like it's not just an isolated part of my shadow, it is me. It's part of me. So who knows what's going to happen next? It's like,
Yeah. Oh, wow. I love that. Thank you, Susan. That was really
okay,
great. Thank you.
thank you.
So, so you guys get a sense of, just how potent answering that question can be, whether it's like, no, I didn't lose my fire. I am on fire, or it's underground. Like all of these things are really potent. And so some of these things can become themes in our journals. That constant fire burning, that ember, but not too hot, or uncovering that, seeing what's in there. So, okay. Yeah, everything is fodder for becoming a journal page. Okay. So by now you have your materials set up around you for easy access, and your book is in front of you. And make sure you have water for your brushes. And I want everyone to open your books to any two pages. These can be at the beginning, at the middle, at the end. And we're going to be working a 2-page spread. That means you're going to work across both pages. And so before we begin, I'm going to talk a little bit about books and book setup. So when I first created this process in 1992, I worked only in big sketchbooks. And this one's a little bit bigger than then, but like that's, can I get back here? This is what I was working in. And I started this book in 2001. And so some of these pages are from 2001, and then I finished it last year. So I was like working with myself from 20 years ago. And that was a really, weird experience to sort of meet my younger self in my books. And I kept wanting to fix her. Maybe I'm a better artist now, so I wanted to fix her. And so it was really, challenging to allow her to be there how she was. So I used to only work in blank sketchbooks. And then I started working in altered books, I think maybe about 2004 or something. So for our purposes here, instead of altered books, we're going to call it pirating books. So much more fun. So I like pirating a book because it invites me in. So I just start with, this was like a decor book. I just start with some sort of book. This one's really thick. It has a lot of pages. I like to work in kids' books just because they're a little bit thinner, not so many pages. Um, so I start with a found book, and I might be drawn to the size, to the cover, to the title. It's always something different what connects me to a book. And I usually have a few going at once in different sizes and different orientations because we're going to work differently in each book. And each book has different requirements of us. We develop a relationship with the self through developing our relationship with our books. So this book I just started, and I got this at a local library sale. It's like a book about Paris. I love the red cover. I love the rounded corners and how I start in these books. So this is how this book is. It's really cool. It has some nice pages. And for me, pirating a book, it doesn't really matter what the background is, because once I get going, I'm going to cover over every damn thing. So I might as well be working in a blank book, except that there's something about altering a book for me, even though I'm going to cover over all of this, that sets the stage. So I like that these corners are rounded. Did I say that already? And then I start by taking pages out, and I have some videos, and let's see, I'll show you guys. I have some videos on YouTube about how to, let's see if I can get that. Um, how to do some stuff with your book, like removing pages. Okay, let's see if that's there. So somebody said here, does the altered book have to be hardbound? What should the minimum size of the width of the spine be? Any other must-haves? Does it have to lay flat when open? So these are all super good questions, and I really don't have time to get to all of them. Shoot. Okay, well, we'll just go. No, it doesn't have to be hardbound. Altering a book, you can alter a catalog. I mean, it could be anything. You could alter a card and maybe put other pages in. There's book arts is so fun because there's so many different ways to do it. So it doesn't have to be hardbound, doesn't have to be a minimum size width of the spine. Um, Everyone's method is going to be different because we all work differently. And so one of the things I love this book, this mermaid book here, and it you'll see like my pages get so thick. Like this is so substantial because I'm layering so many things. So I usually start by gluing pages together and then adding more things to it. Like here, this is a cigar box lid. And the thing about that, I don't recommend it. I would say don't do it, but you got to do what you got to do because now it's so thick that That's going to break this spine. And that's just kind of what happens. From laying a book like this, it's not meant to lay that flat. I'm working in it, I'm pushing down. The spine's going to break anyways. But at this point in my, pirating book career, I like all my pages to fit within my covers. If you're adding pages, if you're adding paint and writing to your pages, it's not going to make them thicker. But when you're adding collage, now instead of one page or one side and another side, you've got 3, 4, 5 pages, and that's going to put stress on there. And some people like this, that the book kind of gets so thick that it's open like this. I have books like that, but I don't like to do that anymore. I've been doing this since 1987, so I like my pages to fit in my spine here. Um, it's definitely going to be easier if your book lays flat, and I don't have any here, but some books are sort of sewn right here so that when it opens, it can't open flat. And that's just going to be the journey of the book. And I said that you're going to have, a different relationship with each book. So that struggle of trying to keep that book open, I mean, maybe that year that you worked on that book is indicative of that struggle. Like it's part of it. And it's helping you through that by like, oh, I can't get this right. Nothing's going. It's like that's part of the journey of that book and what it's trying to teach you and show you. So I always tell people, don't not pick a book because you're like, oh, that's not right. Juliana said the paper's not right. Juliana said the paper's too thin, or the spine's this, or it's not that. You have to choose the book that's choosing you. Because there's a reason behind it. If you're doing an art project, if you're making an artist book, then your considerations are different. Pirate journaling is about talking to ourselves. This is our private space. Okay. Okay, so let's see where we are. Oh, and I forgot about this, you guys. I'll just stick this in here too, because I do have some, I have these YouTube channels. So you can look up I've got, like how to glue pages, how to tape, whatever. So there's some fun stuff there. And then if you want to know about my piracy, I got my own YouTube channel for that too. Okay. Scroll down here. Okay, so when I take my pages out, and I didn't do so much here, but I usually try to take out more pages than I leave in so that the covers almost touch. And so when I'm starting a book, like I said, I take out pages and then I start gluing things in. So this is stuff I glued in. I usually cover, like I said, I cover over everything. So this is just a background. This is not a page, but I go through just to kind of make the book my own. I'm gonna, add flaps. I'm gonna hinge things in. Tabs are my favorite, and I'm gonna tab those. I'm gonna make pockets. So I also put another link here, you guys. I have a really simple and fun altered book online class. It's only $20 right now, but you can, in a few hours, I'll go through that whole process with you, setting up the books. Like this book, I did set up in that class. It's called Altered States or Altered Books 101. So you'll see how, like most of my books, when I want to start them, I go to my class. I take my own class. You'll see, like, I think I first did it in 2010, but every few years or so, I redo it again, and then I have new video for it. But all these things with the tabs, unsent letters and things, there's a lot of fun things that we'll do, and you set up your book cover to cover. I don't decorate my covers, not usually. So that's up to you guys, or that's a different class. I'm really just more concerned with that inner journey. So yeah, you won't ever really see too much for me in terms of decorating covers. Oh, okay. So before we start, I want to show you guys what we did last time. So this is our second VJ workshop. Um, this is our first. And let me just make sure. Is that showing up? Okay, let's make sure. Okay. Um, so this, you saw my other pages, and this is not pretty, and it shouldn't be. It should look like a mess. And yesterday, when I looked at this, um, I had no recollection what that assignment is. It was like, what were we doing? What was that about? Um, all I know is that it felt good. It felt good to look at this. It felt good to revisit it and be here again. I can look at the video if I want to see what my process was and how I came to this and what this was about. But I don't have to. I'm done. Like I got it. In that class, in that short period of time, I got the info of what this page was telling me. So that feeling, that good feeling of what I uncovered here is now the foundational layer of what is to come and will influence what I do next. So now it's just a great background. And then I can, I'll turn it into, something here that has more pirate feeling to me or a more finished feeling to me. Like this is just the raw work. That's what we do here in the visual journaling classes. This is the raw stuff. Uh, um, so, I mean, in my older books, you guys, I've been doing this since 1987. And you'll see my old books look quite different than, what I'm doing now in this one. They look more like this because I was working along with my students and I was much more invested in the process. And then I had a different external art practice, paintings and drawings. And so I would save all these pages. But I don't need to do that anymore. Now I'm into my pirate journals. They're sort of like artist books to me, but um, I don't share all the books because some of the pages are like this, and that I just wanted to keep that feeling and I wanted to keep that memory of what it was. So what I did before I came back here today to get this ready for whatever I'm going to do next is I sanded it down. I have little just sanding blocks that I like to use. And then I just sand it down so that I'm ready. I'm ready to start again. Yeah, I like my pages smooth. And before we get started, I'm going to say, what is a pirate journal? Essentially, we're using the theme of the sea, ships, and piracy. Uh-oh, losing something here. Ships, tropical islands to tell our story through an alter ego voice who don't take our shit. She's a rebel, a rogue, a sea rover, and she can do and say the things that we can't. So, headlines in our pages like 40 fathoms deep, drowning, no mercy, no quarter, anchored, submerged, and hold fast capture our attention and act as, themes or metaphors so we don't have to say the real thing. Okay. So instead of saying, I feel sad, I may say, I feel lost at sea. And there's something about accessing this metaphor that already makes me feel better. I'm like, oh, okay. And it also allows us to say how we feel without exactly giving ourselves away. Like, I know what I mean when I share a page, but you won't because it's in code, the pirate's code. So we speak to ourselves through this pirate archetype, a strong voice, a rebellious voice. And once I got started working in my journals this way, I don't work any other way now. It just makes me happy. I love themes in my journals, and that helps me not only organize my book, but narrow down my collage materials. If you guys are like me and you've been working in collage for, the past 30 years, you got a lot of stuff and it's overwhelming, so I just kind of keep I keep this, I just keep this folder, and this is my pirate stash. These are my collage items, and I dig through here, and I have way more. I have way more, but that's just, I can't be that overwhelmed. I just need a few things to rifle through and use, and I can always grab more things if I need to. So I would say pirate and witch or sea witch are my favorite themes. Okay. If you are joining us here today, you have a longing in your heart. You are dreaming of accessing your wild, creative, expressive voice in a magical place and perhaps kicking a little ass. Today, we are heading out to sea across the wild Atlantic, summoning a vision, a place, and accessing a persona, a part of us, a part of ourselves that we may never have never met before. She is anxious yet brave and ready to guide you into this unknown. To brainstorm our assignment today, I was looking through past pirate workshops. So when I do these big retreats, I make workbooks for them. So this was from the Sea Witch. And then I'm epileptic and neurodivergent, so it's really hard for me to just be there spontaneously. I really need my script. And so my script ends up being all your assignments are in here. So any workshop you take with me, you're going to get this workbook. And I haven't decided what I'm making for Ireland yet because, I got to take all this stuff with me. And these are pretty heavy, but they're pretty cool. So this is from my first pirate workshop in 2009 in Key West. And that was amazing. So I looked through all of these to get our assignment today. Um, Yeah. And they're like, when you take a workshop with me, if anybody here has, it's like, that these workbooks are like, they're a keepsake. They're a great memory of the journey. But also, when you go back home and you're doing the assignment, you're reading back through it, you'll hear my voice. Like I'll be urging you on. So it's like, we're still working together, working on our assignments together. You'll hear your captain. So, pirate visual journaling is the act of combining journal writing with art making in a book. Sometimes we start with journal writing in the form of word association or lists. Sometimes we start with the image and then add our writing over the top. So, today we're going to begin with journal writing. So, everyone needs a pen or pencil. So, I'm going to get my book set up here. The one that I'm using. Okay, I can put these guys away. And I'm gonna open my book here. So my book, already has this printed text in here. And I'm just gonna write over it. Again, pen or pencil. And normally, if we had more time, if you guys were in a workshop with me, we would do some page prep, but we ain't got time for that kind of fancy. So if you're working in a pirated book, you won't be able to read your writing over the printed text underneath. Don't worry about that because we're going to be covering over this anyways. Does not need to be legible. And if your book is small, to finish the writing, you may have to turn to another page, another 2 pages. I did to get started today, because I know how I work. I glued 2 pages together and I glued another 2 pages together. I can already feel these are nice and firm. That's how I like my pages. That's a little flimsy, just flimsy. I'm really heavy-handed, so I need my pages to stand up to my mark making and even writing. When I write so hard, I literally carve into the page. So you can really, when I'm writing, you can feel it. Okay. Um, So it doesn't matter what kind of book you're working in. It does not need to be legible. And I have a lot to say about journaling, having been teaching for so long. But for now, I'm just going to say we start with a prompt. Then we write down every thought that pops into our head, whether it is relevant to the prompt or not. Thoughts are links, and we are interested in that thought on down the way, but we can't get to it until we write down that first thought. So I shouldn't see anyone thinking. If you can't think of what to do or write, you repeat the prompt and keep writing the prompt till a thought pops in, even if it's just, I hate writing, or I have to pee, or what does she mean? You write it down. It's that link. So it's like you got to set up the links, okay? All right. Here's our prompt. I never. Okay, let me get my pen. And you really want to write as fast as possible. I should have been prepared. Okay. Let me make sure you guys can see my book here. Okay. Yeah, so you want to write as fast as possible, and I should not see your pen lifting up off the page. So okay, I'm going to set a timer. We have 5 minutes, and our prompt is I never. Okay, so we start like this. We just go, I start up at the top and I write across. I can write across this way and write across this way. I can turn my book, I can write this way. But what I don't want is sometimes people will start writing and then make a fancy shape. I'm going to make a little, I'm going to do my writing in a spiral. That's really cool, but that's not beneficial for us in this practice because every time I move my book, I'm breaking my flow. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it straight and I'm going to go across. I'm going to go across both pages, but it doesn't, and you can do it on an angle, but just as long as the book is steady, you're not moving your book around, you're not writing here and then here and then here. Okay, so I never. I never. And I'm going to keep writing I never a few times until I start thinking something. I might say, I can't do it out loud. So we'll just go. Everybody write down I never, and you just keep writing the prompt. So if you find yourself thinking like, what do I say next? Come back to the prompt so that you're always writing. Okay, so let's see if we can put a period on that. So if you're not used to writing, 5 minutes can be a long time. And I want to ask you guys, did anyone have that experience where you were writing and it was almost like kind of listing, like I never this, I never this. It was just like listing these sentences of maybe what you never did or never were, and then you felt like a different voice took over? Did anybody have that experience? Okay. Well, if not, don't worry, because usually 5 minutes we are still talking about what we know. And it can take 20 minutes to get underneath that to the unknown. So if you're not used to spending time with yourself, it can really take a long time to get just like dump all this crap. So you may have come up with something really great here. And I'm going to say when we do our mixed media part, I want you to use this as background, but you guys are all wise. So if you feel like, you know what, I'm going to need to read this again, you'll just turn to 2 new pages. But in the meantime, we're gonna try this again. So everyone, if you want to stretch out your hands and fingers, because we're going to write for another 5 minutes. And if you run out of room, just turn to another page. And this time our prompt is I always. Okay. I always. So we start, there's the start right here. I'm just going to keep going where I was. Okay. Well, okay. Let's see if we can put a period on that. So I'm gonna ask again if anybody wants to put their hand up. Did anybody want to say anything about journal writing? You know, if you felt a switch, or sometimes you will notice that one of these opposites writing is darker. Would anybody like to talk about it? I can only see a few people here. Sri, do you see anybody? All right, I'm gonna have to just see. I will. Who's that?
Carrie.
Yes. What is
So,
your name?
hi, it's Carrie.
Yay. Okay. Okay. Oh, hey, girl.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, you guys, Carrie is definitely a pirate warrior. If you've ever been in a workshop with her, she is a powerhouse and an amazing artist, and just yeah. Carry on, Carrie.
So I never um started out dark. I mean, obviously the negative, first couple words. Um, but there was a point in there where I just repeated for like two or three lines the same thing, and which was telling to me. And then when I got to the I always, um, I used a bigger marker, so I ended up going back over and doing
Oh, yeah, yeah. Can you show us what that looks
like a
like?
second layer.
I don't know if
Um,
you can say, oh, wow, look at that, you guys.
yeah, so
That's
it
a
was a
cool
little,
background.
it was bigger. So yeah, so I like the way it looks, but it did definitely give me some insight, and there was a point in there where the words were coming out on the page, I think faster than they were coming from my head. um so yeah, so I haven't done an exercise like this in a long time, and it was very cool, so thank
Okay,
you.
good. Thank you, Carrie. Does anybody else want to say anything? Okay, Susan, crew. Okay, what do you have to say? Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go.
I just wanted to say that I had to write a lot of what seemed like nonsense and just let it flow until the shift came. And now I have some interesting things to
And
pursue.
how did you know there was a shift? Like what did you feel, or was it a different voice? What was that?
It felt more like a physical shift inside. Maybe if I really tuned in, kind of a physical expansion, maybe like around here in my heart area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, real subtle.
Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna get to, thank you, Susan. We're gonna get to our mixed media layering, but I'm just gonna say about mine, was interesting for me is that my always ended up being a response to my I never. And she was pissed. She was really pissed about what the fuck that bitch was saying, and I never. And she just was like, really went to town with me. And that was really interesting. I don't know that I've ever had that happen. So, what I want to say about this is that when we do these journal writing assignments, or we do these prompts, you may say, oh, this again? I've already done that one. Okay, you are a different person every day. So you can do any of these journal writing or visual journaling assignments every day, and you will always come up with something new. So if there's ever, when we do a writing assignment or something else, you may feel like, oh, this again. But be prepared, because even for me, like, I still shock myself with something completely new that I didn't know from before. Okay, so this is how we did the journal writing this time. Sometimes um we do it on top. So journal writing can be a page prep, and a dumping ground and a warm up. Now we got started. We entered our pages, because I think that can be sometimes intimidating, especially when you're working in a blank journal. It's all that blank page, and you're like, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. So we're going to be working across our let me go back to my pages. That was my extra. Okay, these are my pages. And we're going to keep working here. And I want everyone to take out your collage materials. Like I said, I just have this right here that's easy for me to grab. Or you can use a magazine. You can cut out images from a magazine. I have a magazine here that I am just using as a gluing surface, but I could cut some out of here too. Like I like this word here. I already saw that. And then I'm gonna grab my glue stick. And I like my little credit card for gluing. And you can cut this stuff, you can tear it, okay? But what we're gonna do is you're gonna cut or tear at least 5 images and glue them down. Try to vary the sizes. So these are scraps, textures, colors, people, animals, whatever appeals to you for whatever reason. Do not plan it out. Don't cut them all out and then glue it all at once, like constructing your page, okay? Just grab and glue and move on to the next one. Be spontaneous. No planning here. If I say we're done now and you're still like collecting the images you want to glue down, then you don't have anything for the next stage. You won't have anything to work with. So we're going to, as we do this layering process, you're going to stay with each step. You're going to work quickly and you're not going to be attached to the outcome. You should be done already. Like that's how fast I want you guys to work. Okay, so here's how we do it. I'm gonna just kind of go in here. Oh no, I don't want to use that lady. Okay, I've got some stuff here. I like this ship. Okay, so I'm just gonna tear it out. You guys can see. And I'm gonna get my glue stick. I'm gonna crank it up a little bit so that I can see it. Because if I don't have it up high enough, then I'm literally just scraping my glue off. So I'm going to use my magazine as my gluing surface, and I hold it down with my fingers, and I go beyond my image. People say they don't like glue stick because it doesn't work, and that's because they're not getting enough glue on it. You got to get it all over it. See, I'm getting and pressure. I should be kind of like gritting my teeth to get pressure down on this piece of paper, and you can see I'm like squeezing my glue. Not, I don't want to make it too chunky here, but I want to get it on here like icing a cake. Okay, and then I'm just going to put my ship any old place. I put it down. And I want to really get this down good. I want to feel all my edges here and make sure I'm getting it down without squeezing my glue out. Now, I already got sticky fingers, so I'm going to take my wet wipes. These guys should sponsor me. I mean, I've been selling their product for years here. Okay, I'm going to get one. I'm gonna clean my fingers, and if I feel any sticky around here, I'm just gonna wipe that up again a little bit, but I don't want to get my page too wet. I'm gonna grab, like I said, I liked this. Did I get glue on this? Kind of liked this word. I'm gonna get that. And once I get glue here, I don't want to get glue on any more of my images, so I just fold it over, get this here. Okay, like ice in a cake, get it all over. Get it all over, then I move my finger, get it all over, set this aside, put it here, get my tool, get it down. Like if you were here with me in person, if I came around and went like that, I shouldn't be able to get it up. Okay, but I feel like it's sticky and get around here, get around here. So gluing is time and pressure. So you just keep pushing these guys down, get them to really stick on there. So I've got 2, and now I've got glue on this guy. Get rid of it because I don't want to get glue on my images. I love glue sticks working in the visual journal because it's fast and easy and it's dry, so I can work right away over here. But if I get glue around it, it'll kind of be sticky and my paint and other things won't stick. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna put this other ship here because it has this portraits of me on that side there. I like that. Okay. So I'm just gonna grab and glue. And it doesn't have to be pictures. It can be textures and colors. It can be something more abstract. So I might do 2 and then 3 on my other page. I don't know what that is. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, maps. I love maps. Get some of that on there. Okay. Okay. That's sticky, so I'm gonna fold it over. Get my thing here. And I want to plan it out. And one of the things I should be a little bit better about is varying my sizes, which these kind of are all about the same. Maybe I'll get something smaller. So I always have this handy. I'm always cleaning off my fingers. Okay. Oh yeah, this is good. I like this paper. Maybe we'll get a skinny and long. So I would say 2 to 3 on each page, depending on how big your book is, how big your book, your page is, how big your collage items are, and they can overlap. Okay. Then we try to get like 1 or 2 more pieces on there, and then we're going to move on. Mm. I'll try to overlap. So you can overlap stuff. And I always, where it overlaps, there's almost like a little trough there, and I always get my fingernail in it to make sure that my piece is adhering. I think I'm gonna get 1 more piece on here.
Hello?
Yeah?
Hello?
Oh, who's not Susie Bella, are you not muted? Everybody make sure you're muted. Okay. But see, I'm not really playing. I'm just trying to get stuff on here. And if I had some bigger pieces, so I think that's good. We're gonna move on. So you guys glue that last thing down, squeegee it down, clean your fingers. Okay, everybody clean your fingers. And just make sure everything's kind of okay. So hopefully you guys have a little bit more on here than I do. Okay. But whether you do or you don't, we're moving on and it really won't matter. Here, I'm going to put my glue stick down too so it doesn't dry. And then put it down. Because I push so hard, this stuff always comes over the edge. So I got to pull it back down and get it back in there. Okay. Okay. Get my All right, we did that. We did the collage. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, so also when we do these layers, if I say we're moving on, you're like, well, but I didn't get all my stuff glued down. There's really nothing. So it's like, I know we all want to follow the rules, but like when I say we're done, we just move on because there's nothing to complete. We're not making an image yet. We're just getting down some background stuff so that when we do our final stage of visual journaling, we got a lot to work with. We have problems to solve. That's really what we're doing. We're setting up problems for us to solve. Okay, next layer. I want you guys to get some blues in here, and this can be markers or paint, but you're gonna add some blue and create a C. So you can paint around your images, you can go over some of them, you can leave some areas blank, like it doesn't have to be totally blue, but I want you to add a little seaful, soulful. So I've got some blue markers here. I've got some blue paint because I always have my sea colors. So I love these crafty paints, these cheap ones, um, because they dry to a matte finish. And that's really great for us in our visual journals because then the pages won't stick. If you use better acrylics like where'd that guy? Like Golden or Liquitex, or I like my Nova paints. If you're in California in Culver City, you can go right to their store and pick them up there. It's a family-run business. And but these are going to make, because it's like plastic, your pages are going to stick. But whatever, we're using it. And so usually if I use the good acrylics in here, I try to thin it down a little bit so it doesn't stick so much. Okay. So what I do is I just get a brush that fits in here. Go right in here, and I'm gonna kind of paint around some of these things. I can leave some of my writing. I can leave some of my words. I can go over some things. Okay. Just gonna make a C. I can add water and make it a little watery so that you can see my stuff. And the crafty paints are like fairly opaque, which is a good thing about them. But then you can't really sort of get that little watercolor looking thing. So maybe I'm gonna try my other blue here and see what that's like. I'm gonna shake it up, take off the top. I'm gonna add a little water to this guy first. See what he's doing. Whoa. Okay, and I usually have rags. I forgot my rags, so well, I can use my wet wipe. It's a little wet right now, but I can do kind of paint with it, move things around, kind of get behind this guy here. Okay, maybe I want a little darker over here. Okay, I can make some like waves. So I'm just messing around. I'm still not attached to making a picture. I'm being experimental, and I'm just kind of playing and having fun as I make this mixed media background, um, this sea, and I think that's good. I think that's good enough. Okay, so we're gonna move on here. Okay, so put your brushes in the water and put the lids on your paint. And I always have a lot of my littles. I call these my littles. And I just like these little guys, and I have a lot so that I just I have a new brush for each color. I don't have to clean my brushes and then move on. I got to keep the flow. I got to keep the flow going. All right. So do, 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 do. Everyone needs another color paint, and this time we're going to do like earth brown or you know, yellow ochre or red iron oxide or something. I've got these are my favorite markers. Um, where's my brown? Okay, I can't find it, but I have like that brownish color, sepia color in this pen. So these are Pitt Faber-Castell Pitt pens. They've got a skinny end and a thick end, and these are juicy. I use these on my paintings. So those are my favorite markers. So I could use a marker, I could use some paint, and this now is the Sargasso Sea. Okay, Sargasso Sea is like seaweed in it, this brown seaweed. And it's a real place, and it's a place where the current is barely moving. Ships and souls are becalmed here. So I want you to add a little brown areas here and there. And you may want to put some, and I should have done this before. That's sticky. I'm going to put a magazine page behind my page so that I like to work to my edges. So this way I can let the paint go off the edge, without worrying about getting paint on my other pages. So I can add some sargassum right here, whatever it's called. There we go. There we go. That's fine. Okay. And I'm going to add a little of this is my favorite color. This red oxide. It's very pretty. And it's kind of a transparent thing. It's like I really like, I didn't do this on purpose, but I like how this blends into this thing over here. I can add more water and really thin it down. Um, and my pages, because I glued them, they're pretty substantial that I don't see them wrinkling up when I'm adding this water and and this paint. They're kind of standing up to it. Okay, so I'm just adding some few brown areas here, making it a little bit of, we're calling it seaweed, but it doesn't have to be. And I think maybe one more, just to add a little bit more color here. I'm going to add a little yellow ochre to my Sargasso Sea here. Okay. Maybe I'll come over here where this yellow guy is. Blend him in a little. Oh, and I like this on this dark blue here. That's kind of pretty. Boop, 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 boop. And I'm just kind of messing around with some brush strokes. I'm just playing. I'm just, right? We're just making a mess. We're not attached. We don't care. We're not even looking at our pages. We're just like looking away and doing weird stuff. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we're done with our Sargasso Sea here. And now I want you guys to grab a few drawing tools and we're going to make some marks. And I have, this is like a little box and it's broken. So when I'm working, I have it open and then I can kind of dig through and I just, whatever grabs my attention. But in terms of drawing, there are certain things that I like. Like I like my red China marker and I have these like little crayons. Is that a crayon? Yeah, little crayons in black. And let's see what we're gonna do. We're gonna mess around, and I want you to see what kind of different marks you can make. You know, you can outline some of your images, but see how, like, I'm gonna see how light can I go, and then how dark. I should be like gritting my teeth. I'm pushing so hard. I'm being really hard on my pages here. And I like kind of scooping around my tool just to make these weird shapes and these weird marks. Maybe I just over here, I don't make some kind of violent, 'cause I'm a pirate. I don't make some like violent marks here, like chicken scratch. Uh-oh. And my experience with China markers is, you know, you're supposed to just pull this string down and unravel it, but there is no string here. So I'm just gonna always sharpen mine with a pencil sharpener because I like my tool sharp. So I sharpen that. Okay, that's good. Maybe I'll do some light little curly cues here. See, maybe I'm gonna color around this sea. It's like a bloody sea for my little ship here. Oh, I kind of like that. Maybe I'll do that over here too. Okay. So now I'm just right. You don't know what you're doing. You're just moving around the page. You know, don't just stick to one spot. Kind of move around and see where you can go. Like, what's it like to, if it's wet, the paint's wet, what does that look like? You know, you can underline things, you can make boxes and shapes, and maybe again some lighter things. So any kind of a drawing tool, I guess I don't think of markers as drawing tools. I think of those more as coloring tools. But anything that you can vary your line from thick to thin. That to me is drawing the variety of line, which is the same thing with, you know, calligraphy. It's that variety of thick to thin for our line. Okay, so we should be done with that now. Okay. Uh, if you are with me in a longer session, and I'm gonna just take well, I'll leave these. Okay, I'll leave these magazine pages. If you're here with me in a longer session, we would add more layers, but this will be sufficient to lead us into reconciliation. And reconciliation is the final process when creating a pirate journal page. It's like we make this big mess in a hurry. Like we don't even have to be looking at our pages. We're just like cutting shit up, gluing it down, adding paint. Like I said, I have a lot more mixed media layers that we could do that are really fun, but this is going to be fine. Um, oh, and also let's check in because everybody's page should look like a mess. Um, it's funny. Mine kind of looks like a picture. So everybody, hold your books up. Let's see. Because if it looks good, you were kind of trying too hard. Let's see. Hold your books up. Let's see. Yeah, good. Oh, and actually, these look really cool, you guys. So far, what I'm seeing looks really, really cool. Yeah, hold them up so everybody can see. Don't worry, it's not supposed to be good. It shouldn't look good. Yeah, hold it up because it just is what it is. And everybody has such a different way of working. Like we all had the same assignment, but everybody knew to do different things with it. Like I love some of these line shapes. And again, we all use the same colors, but it's so different. So yeah, just take a look at if, as many people as you can, if they're holding up their books, see the kind of ways that they made their drawing marks, how they use the paint. Yeah, we're just noticing all these different things. Like look, on Carrie's here, I love this. You can't see me pointing, but that black shape that she made is so potent and powerful. I love that. It's a really raw line. What did you make it with? Hold it up, Carrie, because we
This
can't
art
see.
crayon,
That's really cool. I
yeah,
don't even
it's
know what
just
that is.
it's a watercolor crayon. It might
Oh,
come back to haunt me later,
yeah.
but it's so dark and so creamy. I
Yeah.
love it.
Whoa, it's really like that's a really great line. So, and I don't know if like some of her images almost look like they could have been rubber stamped. So again, any of these things could be layers unto themselves. Okay, thanks, Carrie. That's great. And I kind of love really that we have this limited palette because we're all sort of like it's a series. Like if we did a show, we would have a series here that would all go together and look fantastic. Okay, let's see what our next step is. Okay, reconciliation, right? So even though I say that these pages look like a mess, I gotta say what I saw looked pretty cool, but still, um, it shouldn't look like you tried. Okay. The visual journal is where we let that desire, to be good, we let that go. We are not trying to make a beautiful or cool page to share with our imagined audience. We are allowing the page to make us. Okay, so after this big mess in a big hurry, we slow down and we try to figure it out. Um, so Shri, if you can highlight just me at this point, because I'm going to show how we do this. So what I want you guys to do, our first step is to stand up our books to get a better view, a new perspective. Okay. So literally, I want you guys to stand it up on your table. Shri, can you highlight me and not my book? Maybe she's gone. Oh, there she is. So I'm gonna hold it out because what I need to do is I need to look at it eye to eye. When I'm working down, I'm looking down. That's a different view. I need to kind of get back from it and be able to look at it and see my pages, looking at them. This is a new perspective. So everybody gonna hold up your books. You can stand them up on your table and look at them if you've got some light on it so that you can see it. And yeah, and get a little distance on it. But I want you to walk around this journal page spread as if it were a room, okay? And I want you to notice where you are most and or least comfortable. What's happening over there in that dark corner? What's that fuzzy line about? What's happening in that muddy space? Does it invite or repel you? Okay. So Shri, you can return to my book now. We're just going to look at my book here. Do I have my whole book in here? Okay. Okay. So as I go over here, as I look at my pages, because all my material is pirate stuff. So lo and behold, it already looks like a pirate page. Okay. And I have this vessels here. I have my two ships here. Um, I'm kind of cracking up because I like this. But let's talk about this. We kind of learn about talking about. I'm just gonna kind of say what I see. Like in this brown stuff, we've got this heavy brown here and these spots over here, and this thing kind of dripping down and creeping over here. Um, I also see like I have these kind of red spaces here and almost kind of this too. These are sort of the water, this red water is like it's kind of directing me over this way. And I notice that these sort of things here are also, everything seems to be sort of moving in this way. Obviously, my ships are sort of leaning into the wind in that way. So I see them moving. I feel like in the last class, I had a lot to say about my page, and I really don't. Let's see if we can who wants to pull up what they've got for one more second? Who wants to raise their hand and hold up their book? Somebody new this time. Sheree, do you see anybody? Okay, how about Lee Lewalski? Lee, are you here? Okay, hold it up. You're gonna have to put it in front of your face. Wow, look at that. Okay, so we see like some pinks here. There's something really lovely about her page, okay? We see this dream, we see this time, we see this little sort of loopy sort of, I don't know if these are rocks or a chain, right? Maybe that's a chain, a linked chain kind of going around this piece here. And we're just noticing like this hand comes over here, it sort of comes back down here and cycles back over here. We don't know what that's about. We're just noticing it. And up here, it looks like, maybe she made lines through her writing. So we're sort of similar to mine in that she has this, directional energy going across. This is cool how this sort of brownish, blackish shape moves over into here. And all of this kind of looks like little coral or stuff that this woman is in. We see like there's definitely this division here, this blue division between the two pages. It still feels watery, but we do kind of notice that there's something sort of maybe softer about this page, maybe a little bit more vulnerable. And this page seems a little bit more like, we got to keep to that schedule. We got to move stuff around. We got to cycle through that. And neither page is either like good or bad. It just sort of is. So I want you guys to just take a minute or two to walk around your pages and maybe talk about it a little bit, just like I was talking to you. Okay, Lee, you can unmute. Thanks for being brave and sharing your
Sure.
pages. Okay, so around here. Um, so you guys are going to look at your pages and notice and talk to them. And usually while you are looking at your pages, I tell a story to help you enter more deeply into your own stories. So I want you guys to keep your books standing and keep looking at your pages with curiosity while I read. Mateys, I know we've barely begun, but I feel as though we're stuck. Be calmed in that Sargasso Sea. Oh, you know what, you guys? Uh, I thought we were going till 11:45, and I just realized we're supposed to be done at 11:30. So if people have to go, we're going to keep going till 11:45 because I'm sorry I messed this up. Um, if you have to go, we'll have the recording We're really just gonna kind of do this for 10 more minutes, but I'm sorry I messed up my timing. Hope everybody's okay with that. Okay, so back to our story. I know we've barely begun, but I feel as though we're stuck. Be calmed in that Sargasso Sea. It's as though something be weighing us down like an anchor. Whatever it is that's got you down, there'll be no room for it here at sea. You must give it up. We must feel our freedom or who we be. It's time to walk the plank. Pirates know what must die. Offer a prayer of thanks because initially this thing was a service to us and may have actually once saved our lives. We must kill off or sacrifice to our higher good that which no longer serves us and actually prevents us from reaching our full potential. Who or what is in your way? Who or what is stealing your precious time and your life force? What happened to your joy and vitality? What happened to the romance and adventure in your life? What or who makes you feel less than or unseaworthy? As an act of treason against the soul, it must walk the plank. So that's the story. And I'm going to repeat the questions again, just in case you want to make a note or write these questions down. And the best place to write them down is right on your pages. Maybe you need a white pen, or maybe there's a space where you can write it. The power of visual journaling is that combination of journal writing and art making. And when they appear in the same space, like you write something down and then the image is the answer, and then you question about the image, and then maybe another image or more words are the answer. And so it's just this back and forth, a dialogue between our ancient self, who speaks in signs and symbols, and our contemporary self, who speaks mainly through words. Who or what is in your way? Who or what is stealing your precious time and your life force? What happened to your joy and vitality? What happened to the romance and adventure in your life? What or who makes you feel less than or unseaworthy? As an act of treason against the soul, it must walk the plank. Okay, you can put your books down and you can forget everything I just said because I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to that wild, authentic voice inside who knows just what to do, and you are actually in her way. How do we get started? How do we know where to begin? We start by starting. You'll hear me say this over and over. Start by touching your stuff, your tools and materials. A voice will say, yes, this, no, that. You literally have to touch your materials. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to answer any questions. You don't even need to make anything walk the plank. Like I already said the story, something inside you is like, oh my God, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. So we're going to help her out. Okay. She may say, I liked painting. I need more blue. Or I liked collage. 5 minutes later, she may say, paint over it. And you just keep going from one task to the next. Don't try to see the outcome. Stay focused on each step and keep going with that step till it feels done. You'll know, or you won't know. And when you don't know, it's just like the writing. You just come back to the prompts. You just come back to touching your stuff. Focus on the journey of the page and be present to that. In pirate visual journaling, we don't worry about finishing anything. We are concerned with gathering information. Reconciliation can take years, so we are patient. We'll spend about 10 minutes reconciling these pages. Again, start by starting. Stay with each step. When you don't know what to do, you touch your stuff. and I'm gonna get you guys started. Like I'll just start by starting, and then I'm gonna read you guys a few things, and then to further distract you, and then I'll play a little music for you guys. So you can watch me or not. Otherwise, you're just gonna walk the plank for 10 minutes. So what I'm gonna do, like like if my materials were here, I usually have them on my desk like in a horseshoe shape, okay? So then I can just reach. I just like I love my little pencil box because then I can just move through stuff. Okay. And I don't really know what to do with this page, but let's see. Okay. I kind of liked the waves. So I'm going to make more waves in here. And maybe I want to see what the waves look like on the brown. What does that look like? Okay. Maybe make a little thicker over here. And I do like these markers because you can kind of blend them, but then once they're dry, they're dry. Okay, I like that. I definitely feel like I need some collage materials in here. It's pretty. So touching my collage stuff, is one of my favorite start by startings. I just kind of rifle through my stash and just grab something that I like or that appeals to me, find a place to get it down and get it on there. Hmm. I like my stuff to, I always say, don't forget your edges. I like stuff to go off my edges so everything doesn't feel like it's all in the center. And then I'm going to trim this up here. Okay. And so now that I've done this and I have this sea here and this sky here, I'm sort of tempted I like this horizon here. So I'm gonna maybe put that maybe with my crayon or maybe pencil. I'll put that. Okay. And at first I was thinking of making this darker, but maybe I'm gonna make it match this. And at any point, I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't like that. I just change it. Okay. So get another brush here. Okay. And as I'm doing this, I have this feeling of the storm back here. I'm gonna try to get more of that storm here. I like that. And I feel like it's not really getting my storm across, so maybe I need some gray. Get a little gray in here. Yeah. Okay, that's good. And as I'm making this storm and I see my ships here leaning in, They're kind of lean into this wind here. A word that I'm inspired to put in, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, maybe kind of is foundering. So it's too wet, but it's like our journal writing. If you think it, put it down. Because if I put foundering here, or I think, well, I don't want to put foundering because that's negative. Um, that will inspire something over here because maybe the next step is to save my ships. I have to save my ships from this storm here. Okay. So you guys keep walking the plank. Okay, and I'm gonna, like I said, I guess I was talking the whole time. That's how I am. I started creating pirate journals in a committed and determined manner during COVID, and it's pretty much all I do now. In 2017, I presented an art exhibit in Santa Fe entitled Pirate Queens, Piracy is a Feminist Act. There is power in reclaiming our stories through the voice of an alter ego. She is brave, cunning, daring, and she needs a safe place to express herself. Pirate Queens has been my favorite workshop since 2009, and I met my brethren there. So it's not just the art that we make together in these retreat type settings, but the bonds we forge, a sisterhood, or as I like to call it, a brethren. It has been my dream to teach in Ireland. What better place to pursue the pirate queens and their radical wild wisdom than Grace O'Malley's birthplace? We'll visit Rockfleet Castle, and Laura Murphy, the director of Essence of Mulroney, has persuaded the castle guides to actually let us go inside and sketch. Most tour groups don't get to do that. She also has journals for us, books, actual books that we can use to alter or to cut up. Some of these books are in Gaelic. Most of these books are from the 1700s. Okay, so that's pretty cool and fun. And I'm going to put a little bit of music on for you. You guys really only have a couple minutes. I'm sorry about the timing. I really went over time today. Okay, so I'm going to get some music on. Can you guys hear it? You can't hear it?
They won't hear it.
They can't hear it?
No.
All right, never mind. So what is a pirate soundtrack? I just play stuff that's kind of seaful, soulful, um, to get us in the mood. So you'll have to do your own. You guys keep working. And yeah, I feel really bad that we went over. So we're gonna I know you guys haven't had any time to really work on this. And like I said, we don't worry about finishing. We're always just worrying about getting started. So pages like this, I might just leave these and not come back to them a year from now. And then I would start by starting. That would be my background. And I just keep start by starting. I may see an area and say, oh, I don't like that storm. I'm gonna make a blue sky. And we start by picking a task and getting into it. So in the meantime, if you guys want to, I'm gonna take a look at a couple pages, and then if you want to add some questions to the chat, you can. So we're gonna look at somebody's page. Don't forget to unmute yourself and then mute yourself when you're done. Would anybody like to hold up their book and talk about what they were doing or what happened? or it being fun or not fun. Okay, Yolanda, let's see what's going on here, Yoli. I
Hello.
think it's sort of making it too close maybe.
Okay.
And there's
I,
something about the background that's fuzzing out your
I
book.
know. How do I undo that?
Yoli, I think there's you must have some kind of filter or something on your
I
profile.
think so. I don't, if you can tell me how to do that, I'll
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
how to
don't know.
do
Does
it.
highlight
I'm
anybody
someone
not
else.
know?
sure.
Yeah. Why don't you highlight someone else and I'll see
Oh
what
shoot.
I
I
do.
mean, I first of all, we can't really see what's going on except that it looks like she was able to get quite a lot done in a very short period of time. Who else wants to go?
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, Yoli, sorry about that. I don't know how to
No
fix.
worries. I will post it and tag you on Instagram. How's that?
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Okay.
who else is brave? Come on, you brave pirate queens. Let's see it.
Um,
Who hasn't gone yet? Nobody?
I
Maybe
can
we can
go.
do.
Oh, Randall can go.
Okay, yes. You don't want to go? Oh, Randall, you're on mute. You want to unmute or you don't want to go? Nope. All right, come on, you guys. I'll have to go through here and just see if I can.
I can go, Juliana.
Who's going? Yeah, Jenny. Is that Jenny's voice?
Yep, Jenny Masterly Shri.
Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, hold it up. So can you talk a little bit about your journey?
Yes, I'm not sure what to do, which is fine. I wrote the different words and then I found some collage elements, some maps that were a bit more neutral in color. And then I found this one collage sheet that had all those hieroglyphic type petroglyph things, put those on top. And then I just felt inspired to grab one of my books, this book here.
Oh
And I
yeah.
decided to
Huh.
create this one horse that looks a bit primitive looking because I'm aiming to create more drawings that look more naive and kid-like. And then I created some more post-it notes. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I do feel as if it's too busy. So if I want to add some words to it to treat it like an oracle page, where that's one of the things I love about your visual journaling sessions is that I get some kind of oracle message. So I feel like right now it's just too busy, which is a really lovely metaphor because the one about I always, I changed it to I often, and I
Oh.
realized I often don't sit still. I often am always busy. And so this is a visual metaphor of how my life is continually busy, 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 busy. And if it's busy, 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 it's hard for me to actually listen in on what's going on. So I just need to choose. I can't do everything. I need to choose what's most important and then add some paint over top of it, silence it, create visual silence, and then give myself that space to see what unfolds. Because I feel as if each journal, visual journal page is a journey. It's not just the end product. It's a chance for me to go inward and to tap into something deeper.
Well, what I love about this page is these sort of ancient symbols with what you were saying, like the naive drawings. And we see a lot of these like wild animals running across the page, like, and that they're in yellow, and we see their shapes like on the right page above the symbols. We see like the legs, the paint is painted around the legs of those animals. And there's something about this that has that sort of wild child self, that criatura self that's maybe, yeah, like Jenny was saying, sort of like bound by these constraints of, this symbolic movement of time or whatever those are. But, on the bottom, it has that light. I don't know, that candle. So there's something about this page, even in all of its like wildness, like you said, it was like too busy, that there's a light here. there's a certain amount of freedom here, and you do always do a lot, and maybe that's just part of, your strength, is that busyness is maybe also tied into your freedom. I
Hmm.
don't know. Yeah, because there's something really potent about that page and sort of the mystery and the wildness. And also, like, what is that shape on, I guess, the right page that's like a bar that goes across?
This one?
No, on the other page.
Oh, this one here?
No, above.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, it was arrows. They're an arrow on each end. There's an arrow here, an arrow there. And there's one here and here, but I got covered up a little bit.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. So, this is what we do. We always share, and there's something really, that's where we learn the most is, from each other and their journey. And then what are those on the bottom? There's like little rabbit heads?
They're Miffy. I love everything cartoon. So, I mean, I'm even wearing like a Care Bear shirt. That's all I
Right.
wear, even though I
Yeah,
have a
I
professional
do.
job.
Like I said, I do love this page because there's something about that combination of the creatura self with this, self, who's timeless, but with this timeful self. It seems like they're playing together in this page. We don't know, but it's a great page. Okay, Jenny, thank you so much for sharing. Okay,
Thank you,
anybody
Julie.
else? I think we can do one
Oh,
more.
oh. Am I unmuted?
Okay, all right, Yoli. Yeah, I can't believe you got so much done. Can you back it up a little bit?
Can you see that?
Now, are these all collage pieces?
Some collage pieces, yes, and then I painted over them or altered them and scribbled and added paint. Whatever.
Yeah.
There's part of my bingo card.
Yeah, and when we talk about like just sharing with each other, that we see like the softness. It's interesting on Jenny's page, like a soft energy, like a soft, sort of vulnerable, wild energy. In here, we have this really drama of the pop of the colors, that sort of magenta at the top, sort of oozing over everything and dripping down. Like it's really a juicy, potent, high contrast, high pop color page. There's a lot of drama here. So we like just in these two different artist pages, we see the difference in what came up for them. And maybe tomorrow, if they did this page, Jenny's page might be high pop color, and Yoli's page will be this soft. So we never know what's going to come up. And I do find this sort of like, I was trying to put my cursor on it, but this big white circle beneath the orange, yellow, orange circles.
Mm-hmm. My plan was to turn that into a moon,
Okay.
but who knows? It might change, right? So,
Okay, but yeah, there's something,
mhm.
because there's something significant about it that definitely makes it different than all the other bubbles above it. So we just notice. And then up in the right hand or left hand corner, there's another tiny little white circle.
Mhm.
So there's something in that angle that sort of connects us to both pages. And then the angle is sort of like from the head down to the arm. So we've got, kind of straight up and downs, but also these angles in the pieces. And again, we're just noticing like all the lines and everything, the shapes, just noticing and looking at it. If we look at it tomorrow, we'll notice other things. Okay, Yoli, thanks for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
And you
Thank you.
need to,
Great class. Great class.
oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Okay, so I better read the closing because we're going really late here. Oh, another thing is that, from doing this, it's been really fun for me. And I was thinking of starting a monthly Zoom visual journaling group or club. Is that something any of you guys might be interested in? Does anybody think that's a good idea?
Mhm.
Would you play? Okay. Yeah, I'll have to think. I'll
It,
have to think about that and how I would set that up. Um, so if anybody's interested in traveling with us, or curious, I'm going to put the website for the Ireland retreat up. And if you guys register today, you get you message Laura Murphy and let her know that you took the Zoom class, and then you'll get a $200 discount on your final payment. And when we do these retreats, like when you guys, if any of you guys are here, been in my longer retreats, we spend a lot of time going over different mixed media techniques, um, how to add more things to the books, how to do sketching and add sketches to it, and backgrounds and different kind of backgrounds. But I always go into more depth, and it's fun. We all work together, but it is also serious work. Not trying to make a pretty picture, and there is nothing wrong with that. But our focus is uncensored, unrestrained, raw self-expression. And that's not always pretty. So we make room for that. We allow for that. Oh, and then for you guys, I do have a lot of online classes, like I said, the altered states. So if you wanted to do more in-depth stuff, those classes are pretty involved. But I just wanted to say that what I offer is transformation and the opportunity thanks everybody, the opportunity to develop your voice to make work that doesn't look like anyone else's. Like it won't look like mine. It will be unique to you, and everyone's work will be completely different, as we've already seen. Visual journaling, pirate journaling can feel scary. This work is not for everyone, but it's actually liberating. So let's commit to ourselves, our voices, and our expressions by showing up, by taking a leap of faith, by flying across the ocean and heading into the unknown. If you have any questions about what, traveling to Ireland is, it's going to be, international travel is hard, but for all of us leaving from the States, we can, meet there together, hang out in Dublin. But if you have any questions, I'm going to put my email and also Laura Murphy's email in the chat, so that if you wanted to reach out, please do. If you guys met Laura Murphy in our last workshop, she's absolutely lovely. It's like if you thought of meeting this beautiful person in Ireland, this is her, with her accent, her Irish accent and everything. She's really a magical person. Um, I also wanted to let you guys know I just set up a brand new online workshop that's sort of a hybrid of pre-recorded video and Zoom classes, and it's starting really soon. I think our first Zoom is on the 7th, and I may plan to do a second one. But if you're interested in pirate journaling, this assignment is really going to take what we're doing today to another level. And it's actually sort of inner self portraits is what the workshop is. It's called Facing the Within. So I want to thank you, brave souls, for joining us today. And again, if you have any more questions, you can email me or you can email Laura in Ireland. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to embrace our inner pirate queens with you at any place along the line, if not in Ireland, and maybe in a Zoom club or something. Uh, do, do, do. I guess that's it. Thank you for showing up, not just for me, but for all of us, for yourselves. Thank you very much to my sister Shri for hosting this for me. And we'll send out the recording in a few days. So uh, any last minute, any things that anybody wants to say? Yay, everybody.
Thank you. This is so wonderful.
You're welcome, you guys. I really, if you know me as a teacher, I love teaching. I love sharing with everyone. I love sharing this process with everyone. And thanks for being a part of this with me. Thanks for making this happen, because I can't do it without you. I
Thank
guess
you.
I guess that's it. Sorry to keep you guys so late.
No, it was great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Shri, I guess you can close us down. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
You are welcome. Keep working in your journals.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. How do we close up, Shri? Oh, I guess do we need to turn the recording off first?